Welcome everyone to Every Strand Counts with me, your host, Dana Wilson. Today's topic, let me put it up here. Where's my topic? Today's topic is a good hair day pairs best with financial clarity. Ooh, this should be really, really good here, you guys. But welcome. I'm Dana Wilson, the host of Every Strand Counts, and we're going to get started here shortly. Um, our topic again is Good Hair Day pairs best with financial clarity with our featured guest, Tremaine Wheels, who is an investment advisor and financial planner and speaker. We'll get started in a few seconds. Hey there, welcome. Every Strand Counts with Dana Wilson is brought to you by Hair Cares Inc. We believe that every root, every lesson, every experience, and every legacy makes a difference in our lives. So we feature conversations with various leaders, authors, speakers, entrepreneurs who long to touch, move, and inspire others through their work. And today we're going to have our featured guest is Tremaine Wills. She's an investment advisor, financial planner, and speaker who helps women business owners start and finish their journey to retirement through financial planning and investing. So let's bring her on up to the stage. Hey there.
Hello.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. And you're located where, Tremaine?
I'm in
Again?
Virginia.
Virginia. Okay, good stuff. Tremaine, please tell and share with our audience um, who you are and what is your game. Like, what are you up to in the world?
Yeah. Well, so again, I'm Tremaine Wills. I own a company called Mind Over Money, where
Okay.
I work primarily with women business owners. We are on a mission to help 1 million women grow their invested assets to $1 million or more,
Okay.
um, specifically so that we can focus on closing the wealth gap. So,
Okay.
something that we are very, very passionate about. As someone who was raised by an entrepreneurial woman who gave and served and continuously poured into others, I'm seeing a lot of women spend and give their financial resources away without taking care of themselves.
Okay.
I'm dedicated to making sure that we take care of ourselves first, and then we can go out and help everybody else.
Mhm. So, you said your mother was an entrepreneur. Did I hear that right?
Entrepreneurial. So she has her main job, but for as long as I can remember, there was always some side hustle that was bringing in extra money.
I know that's right. So did you set out for that? Like, tell me, because this show is all about like connecting the dots. Like, what happened? What experience happened that had you say, "This is what I want to do"?
Yeah, this is good.
Okay.
So, interestingly enough, and it's amazing how everything works together, right? My
Hmm.
journey actually started, I was a hair braider.
Okay.
My very first dabble into entrepreneurship started when I was 12. I got tired of my mama saying, "Do you got McDonald's money?" when I was asking for McDonald's, and the answer was no. Like, no, I don't got McDonald's money, lady. And then I was like, but I'm about to figure out how I'm gonna get some. And so I started practicing braiding first on my sisters and then like neighbors. And then next thing you know, I got a whole little small business running, right? And it was called Tame Your Mane Braids by Tremaine. And my mom created like business cards for me. And I was like, I was making some pretty good money. And so, you know, during the summers and on the weekends and stuff like that, braiding hair. And over time, my hands started to hurt.
Okay.
My back was hurting from standing up. And I'm
Hmm.
a teenager
You know
with
what?
these pains.
You was really doing that hair. You hear me?
Listen, I was. But I started to think like, I can't keep this up. And like even in that young age, I'm like, I have to figure out a way to make money where I'm not experiencing this discomfort.
Okay.
And that's when I started thinking about, okay, well, what do other people do to make money without having to feel their joints cracking?
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right. Oh, wow. That is really something else. So you went, okay. So then you went to school. So
I
you
did.
knew right away that you was going in the business lane. That was it.
So I went to college. I went to Hampton University,
Okay.
and I went in undecided. And I'm a first generation college student, and nobody else gave me any direction. So I went in. I'm asking like, "Hey, everybody, what's the degree you need to get if you want to make a lot of money?" And so a lot of people were saying, "Well, go into business because everybody needs people that understand business, no matter what industry you're in." And I'm like, "Okay, I can see that." So I go into business. I start learning about accounting because that's initially the direction they push you in when you go into business. I'm like, I don't like accounting. I like the numbers, but I don't like accounting for the numbers.
Okay.
So I got shifted into economics and finance. And so when I finished college, I landed a job as a financial specialist. And that's when I really started to learn the language of money.
Okay. Wow. Wow. So you like these numbers.
I do. I love them.
And that is amazing because people shy away from numbers.
hmm
Really, really shy away from
We
numbers.
do. And it's interesting because the more I dive into the numbers, the more I realize it's not even about the numbers, right? Because
Okay.
our finances, they tell a story. Um, just like our hair tells a story, right? All of this is related.
Mhm,
And when you can like peel back the layers and get to the root causes of things,
mhm.
there's so much to learn, right? So, and that's what I was starting to realize was that the numbers on top only tell part of the story, but when you get to the why, you can start to see how our spending relates to our like our characteristics, what we value, all that kind of stuff. And
Mhm.
I think I became fascinated with like what's the story behind the numbers because it really tells a lot about people.
Yeah, and what you value.
hmm
Yeah, because if you look at their bank account and that statement saying Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Chipotle, all this
hmm
going out to food, then that means you might be valuing some food, right?
hmm Or at least the convenience of being able to go pick it up quickly and not having to exchange time like cooking, right?
That's
So, and that's one of the things like I learned over time because initially when I got in this industry, I was like,
right.
y'all are wasting money on fast food, and I had like this hammer of justice, right?
Okay.
But the reality is it's not that people waste money. It's just that our values are placed on different things. And
Okay.
so until you learn to align your spending with the things that you truly value, both now and in the future, that's when you can start to see everything work together.
Okay. I like that. I like that. So you finished school.
hmm
Did you go? I mean, because right now you serving your target audience is the woman business owner.
hmm
Was that what you came out of the gate doing?
Not at all. Not at all. And honestly, I think that's what like really pushed me to focus in on this group. So when I came out of college, I went to work for Fortune 500 company, and my job was terrible. Oh my gosh, I hated it so much. The the thing I learned most was in my capacity, I was just like a seat filler. I
Okay.
was I was getting folks to come in and telling them about the services we provided, but it was so transactional. There was no relationship development.
Okay.
A lot of the clients did not look like me. In fact, there were instances where the disrespect was so crazy. I was like, y'all just gonna let these people talk to me like this,
Mhm.
right? And it was because the institution didn't care about me as a person. They cared about the coins that that client was going to bring to the institution. So now I'll share this real quick. Um, I I was able to secure a new client for the bank. And when they came to the branch, they walked up to the reception area and they were like, I'm looking for the little black girl.
No.
Yes, it was an
Okay.
older white man. and nobody corrected him. They just guided him to my office. And it was in that moment I was like, I cannot work in spaces where I am not seen and my presence is not only like tolerated but celebrated, knowing that I add value. And so it was like from that moment I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting out of here.
That's
Cuz
huge. That's huge.
yeah, and I was like, okay, I need to find a way to take what I've learned from this space and take it back to my community and people who will appreciate not only what I'm bringing to the table, how I'm generating income and revenue for them, but also like the value that I add just being in the same space. And so 2014 is when I made that exit and I launched Mind Over Money. And I was like, okay, this is scary.
I was
This
going
is
to
scary.
ask if it's strategic or because, we have these aha moments.
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of us, we have these aha moments, but it still take time to set it up. Now, some people, they just jump right in. Done. I'm done with this. Just woke up with that epiphany and they on. So was it strategic, this
Nope.
move? Okay. No.
Nope. It was it was like additional things kept piling on, and then finally I just got to the straw that broke the camel's back. And
Love
I was sitting in the parking lot before going into work one day and I was crying. I was just in there just
it.
like wailing, crying. And I called my mom and I was like, I can't stay here. I can't stay. And it was that day I submitted my notice and I was like, how many days of leave I got? Like, how do I like accelerate this path? And a few days later, I was gone. And I was living in Pittsburgh at the time. I left that job. I came back home. I had no plan. All I had was money in my emergency savings
Okay.
and a place to go home to. And I was like, I'll figure it out when I get home. And
Love it.
so I went back to my mom's house, and it was a couple months while I was trying to figure out what to do next. And I was grateful that I had the emergency savings so that
Yeah.
I could make that drastic change to like save my own mental health. But two, that I had a safe place to go back to. Because for many of us, we might not have that home base or that champion in our life that um it's just like there's always a safety net. And like for me, that's part of the reason why like I feel like I can fly all the time, because I'm like, it doesn't matter if I fall, I got somewhere to land, right?
Mm, mm,
Um
That's good
and that,
stuff.
yeah, and I'm very aware of that privilege, right? It's definitely a privilege. Everybody doesn't have that. But that emergency savings allowed me to have the time to like get myself together to figure out what am I going to do next. And so it was a couple months and I was like, I think I got to do my own thing.
Love it. I love it. So, what do you offer women in business around financial
Yeah.
stability?
Yeah, so we do comprehensive financial planning. So, what that looks like is a full roadmap of how you get to where you are, to where you want to be, not only in retirement, but also like in the midst of accumulating wealth. And I think a lot of us, we're afraid to talk about retirement because one, we don't know what we want, right? And two, we assume we can't have it.
No.
Um, and then there's like this fear of, well, the advisor's going to judge me because I didn't do what I was supposed to do, or I don't know these typical things, right? And so all of this stuff prevents us from getting a plan in place to like live our best lives, right? So what we do is we work with our clients to co-create a strategy that not only allows you to get to where you want to go, but also enjoy the process, right? So I'm not the
That's
advisor
that's
yeah.
you. But that's a mindset shift that you have to do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe in rice and peas. I mean, I think that of course you have to make sacrifices, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that we were born to work, 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 not enjoy the process of living just to arrive at a place where now, after all these years, now I can enjoy my life. I don't agree with that,
Okay.
right? But I do believe that you have to be intentional about the plan in order to make sure that you are in alignment and you're not wasteful of your resources, right? So we start everything we do starts with that plan, because then you can make informed decisions about what type of investments to select, what type of insurance do you need, what type of tax strategy, tax planning do we need, how do we ensure we're selecting the best education funding, right? So everything starts from that plan and what we do, and then we provide the additional resources to bring that plan to fruition. So
Mm, this is good
yep.
stuff, girl. This is good stuff. So we're gonna go to a commercial break, but when we come back, Tremaine, I want you to take me through your client journey, because we
Yeah.
talked about the mindset, which that's huge, and then we'll go into your client journey. All right,
Okay.
we'll be back. Commercial break from our sponsor. Imagine having encouraging support, accountability partner, and strategic planning to create your next level of natural freedom. Here at Hair Cares Inc., we empower audacious women with the understanding that every strand counts. By piecing mind, body, and spirit components together that result in scalp rejuvenation, hair regeneration, and a growing, sustainable, thriving Sister Locks business. We provide in-person and virtual hair growth services, Sister Locks business consulting, personal coaching, and mentorship. We believe that every strand counts. Every root, every lesson, every experience, and every legacy makes a difference in our lives. We are proud to encourage holistic living and full self-expression through hair advocacy, training, coaching, consulting, books, and our show, Every Strand Counts. I'm Dana Wilson, the CEO and Director of Hair Cares Inc. All right. So take me through this client journey, because we got to do a shift. That's for sure when we're talking about this money. Take me through your client journey once they connect with you.
Yeah. So I
Mhm.
have a framework called the Rich Roadmap. We follow a step by step process that we take all of our clients through, right? And for those of you who are business owners, like, right? When you have a framework, it's a repeatable process that ensures that nothing falls through the cracks, right? If you don't got a framework, you don't got systems, you don't got a business, right? So, but our framework uses the acronym RICH. And so the R is the beginning of our journey, where we teach our clients to reimagine their future, right? A lot of us, when we're younger, we have these huge dreams, big, big goals. Like for me, I thought I was going to be an Olympian. I used to run track, and I'm
Go
like, I'm
ahead.
going to the Olympics.
Wow. Come on.
That's what I thought. It didn't happen that way. And like, life started to life, and different
Mhm.
obstacles came our way, and I noticed that my dreams start to shrink. And that happens for a lot of people, right? When you meet obstacles, you can't get over hurdles, you decide to pull back and shrink yourself. And so what I encourage clients to do is like, if there was nothing in your way, what would you do
Mhm.
with your time? Who would you be with? Right? What were the type of experiences you would have? So we go through this like process of like vision casting,
Yes.
to see yourself where you want to be. We cannot achieve anything that we don't first see and go after. So
Mhm.
that is the very first part of the process, right? Is like getting your mind out of what am I in right now and only seeing what's immediately around me, and starting to push back and think, okay, what is possible 20, 30, 40 years from now for me, right? And what would it look like if I only believed? So that's the very first step, that reimagine piece. Then the next step in the process is for us to identify, the I is to identify what our priorities are. And so
Okay.
this is breaking through what society says we should have, right? Because there's all these lists. By age 30, you should have this amount of money. You should be doing this stuff. And by age 40, it should be
Mhm.
this, blah, 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 right? But the reality is personal finance is personal. And our values vary from person to person. And so you have to identify what's actually important to you and the priorities that you have, and then you put those inside of that vision. So for me, it's very important to me that my niece and nephew do not have to work. So when
Okay.
they turn 18, I don't want them to fight the same struggles that our generation is fighting. So that is a priority for me. And for others, it might be, I want to make sure that I can take 17 vacations a year, right? Whatever that is, whatever your priorities are, the things that you value, we need to make those clear and like stand behind them and don't feel away about what anybody else says it should be, right? Because I think a lot of us, we watch social media and
Mhm.
we let everybody else influence what we think we should value. And the reality is, if you don't actually believe it for yourself and it's not something you value, you're not going to stick to any plan I create.
Mhm.
So I encourage my clients, like, be honest, be very, very
Okay.
like brutally honest about what's important to you. Then the next step is C. This is where we actually create the plan. So
Okay.
a lot of people want to jump in and like, what should I invest in? I'm like, wait a minute. We got to go back. We have to like create the structure that we're going to build and the reasons why we're even building it. I can say, yes, you should go buy Tesla, right? But
Mhm.
more important than what you purchase is why you're investing, why we have this strategy in place, what are the things that we're trying to accomplish, because then we can create whatever needs to happen to realize those goals.
Okay.
So at the creation place, this is where we identify the accounts that you need, the types of investments you should make, the returns that you need to have, any protection strategy that we need, so whether that be insurance or trust or all of the things, right, that go inside, so that you can realize the goals that we created. Then the final step is H. And for us, H means to honor the commitment, right? So we've
Mm.
done all this work dreaming, we've identified what's important, we've created the plan. Now you got to stick to the plan, right? And like commit to doing the work, because a lot of us, and even like on a smaller level, how many of us have made a budget, right? And we did all this work reviewing all the transactions. We get the budget in place, and then 2 months later, budget out the window. Like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. So that H is honoring the commitment that you made and holding yourself accountable to that. So, of course, you can put yourself in spaces where you have accountability partners, know the things you're trying to accomplish, but like deep down, you have to decide
Right.
this is it. Like it's win or win. Right? I'm going to get to whatever these outcomes are. And if I have to modify the plan or take a different turn than I thought, that's okay. But I'm not gonna defeat myself by not even trying. So
Right.
that's the process. We get rich and we follow that roadmap.
I love that. That is so clever. That is so clever. I love that. That was perfect.
Thank you.
Setting up those acronyms is so cool. So after they do this process, they have this plan. They're committed. They're honoring. They're following through with the plan. Um, how long is this process? Is this a year process? Is this 6 months?
No, no, no.
What is?
So the plan creation itself goes
Mhm.
from like 1 to 3 months, depending on how busy the client is, because I work with business owners. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But
Mhm.
like the initial plan creation maybe takes about 90 days. But
Okay.
after that, then we go into maintenance mode and like accountability. So for clients that continue to work with me, I meet with them every quarter and we check in and we say, okay, we have to grade ourselves. This is what we said we were going to do. Where are we? We're tracking our net worth. We're tracking our assets. We're tracking liabilities. We're tracking the habits that we said we were going to do. So, did you set up that automatic transfer? Are
Mhm.
you leaving money in the accounts they're supposed to be in? Or are you robbing Peter to pay Paul to do something else that's not in the plan? Right. And so, every quarter, we're tracking against those metrics to make sure that we're doing what we said we would do. And then getting educated about what else is happening, right? So in my community, I am a big advocate of teaching.
Okay.
I spent a couple years in the classroom, which is probably why I teach so much. But I like people to know what they're invested in and why, so that they can understand how it works. Because the more we understand something, the easier it is to stay committed because we know about it. A lot of us have a fear of investing because we don't understand investing. But if I were to explain to you exactly how this works, exactly how you make money, when you can expect to see more money, you might feel a little bit better about it.
Okay.
So that's what we do. We ensure that, yes, I'm going to set up this plan for you, but I want you to know how this moves so that you don't have to rely on me to tell you, so
I
that
love
you can be invested in it, and you know what you're looking for in your portfolio.
I love that. So you have different business owners, so they obviously have different values, different brackets of money as well.
Mhm.
Um, how do you measure the success? How do you measure the success of what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things in my first meeting with my clients, I show them how to measure if what I'm doing is working, right?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I don't believe in people wasting money for a service, right?
Mhm.
As a financial professional, my whole intent is to save you money. It's to help you do what's best. So once we create the plan, I show clients this is how we track. These are the measurable outcomes. And if the money you're spending to work with me is not being grown by evidence of our net worth increasing, by evidence of your investments increasing, then you need to reassess this return on investment. Is the
Love
investment you're making working with me worth the time and the return? And if it's not, I taught you what this means. That means we have to terminate this relationship.
it. Mm,
So,
that's
my
good.
clients, they can see that.
Mhm.
And another feature that we do historical tracking, so you can see where we started, this is where you were, and if you're not in a better position a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, we didn't do a good job.
Good stuff. I
So we're
love it.
holding each other accountable.
Oh, that's good stuff. That accountability go across all lines here.
Hmm.
Tremaine, tell us, how can people get in contact with you?
Yes. So I'm pretty active on social media.
Okay.
At Tremaine Wills, you can follow me personally. I do a lot of educating on that platform. Or you can follow at 4 Collective. This is the movement where we're helping 1 million people grow their assets to $1 million or more. So if you want to follow that journey, today we've invested 2.2 million with our new investors. So we're well on our way. Which is exciting because 100% of my clients are minorities. So
Okay. That's
um,
perfect.
I love it so much. It makes me so excited. But yeah, that's how you can find me.
Perfect. Perfect. Before you go, can you just share? I mean, it could be one tip or a couple of things um, about money. Like, what can we do to shift our minds before we even get started with you on money?
Um, I would say you have to believe that you are worth it.
Mm.
Um, you are worth planning for. You are worth people paying you better. You are worth the expensive excursions. You do not have to penny pinch your way through life. It does not have to be looking for the cheapest option all the time, right? Um,
Hmm.
and so if you can shift your mindset to believe that abundance is your birthright, so many different doors open up to you and you can start to think about how do I leverage my assets to create more assets instead of thinking from a place of lack where oh, I only got this amount of money, what can I do in this scope, right? So the money is out there for us. We just have to believe that we are worthy.
Wow, I loved it. That got me all excited. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, share with my audience about the game that you're playing. You're playing the money game, and that's important to. That's like universal, right? So, I will absolutely have your information up on my website and everything, so people can get in contact with you. Thank you so much for taking your time out today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right. See you later. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Stay connected with me. Go to my website, which is haircaresinc.com. Join some of my Facebook communities. Until next time, every strand counts, everybody. Bye bye.